In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss about concept of DAG, which is known as Database Ability Group. So DAG or Database Ability Group is contained as many as 16 mailbox servers combined with the ability to extend a DAG across multiple physical location and Active Directory strides, provides a large number of architectural design possibilities for DAG. So it's basically a mailbox server, and it consists, all the DAG consists the copies are replicated, up-to-date copies of the mailbox server in a particularly DAG group. For example, you have created a DAG, you have a mailbox install, and you want to create a DAG, and up to 16 copies of the mailbox you can create as many as mailbox server with the up-to-date replicated copy. It means whatever database is considered in your primary mailbox will be replicated copy in other mailbox server you have promoted under DAG scheme. It means it's a primary and secondary, kind of a backup for a mailbox server, but it's a replicated copy. It means entire database of mailbox server will be added in the DAG mailbox groups. Now, when you talk about the benefits, what are the requirements? We can say about this, it's a kind of a backup thing, but it's a live backup, so it allows you to automatic failover. It allows you that whenever your mailbox server, for example, for some reason get failed, then another way, a secondary mailbox or whatever copies you have created, it will take over. So it is allowed the automatically failover. Whenever your mailbox get failed, it will take it out, and it will take it out as a position of a primary mailbox server. Similarly, provide high availability without any complexities. Complexities like failover, clustering, and storage area network. So basically, it is not so complex. You have created, for example, you have created two mailbox. One is primary, another one is in part of a DAG. For example, first primary mailbox gets suspended for some reason, then the secondary mailbox, without notifying anyone, will take over the part, and it will become the primary mailbox server. So it provides the similar kind of situation. You need not to be worried about, you need not to alert for this. You would know that yes, the secondary mailbox server will take over from here whenever your primary gets suspended or any issue created. Now DAG also supports incremental deployment. It means that it is quite a incremental way. Whenever required, we can add member server. If not required, then we can remove it as well. We can add member server according to our requires, and if it's not, we can easily remove it. As per requirement, we can add member servers and can replicate the database copies. We can add as many members as we can, and we can replicate the similar primary database copies to it. Also, we need not to create multiple DAG. For example, we need more and more mailbox database, then we need not to create another multiple DAG. It will be a part of the same DAG we have created. Exchange Server 2010 can host multiple DAGs. We need not to worry about that. Exchange, if for example we need for example you're using one mailbox server, secondary mailbox server, third mailbox server differs maybe according to the department ways as well. For example, someone using accounts mail, someone using sales mail, someone using the departmental mails. So different mail domain, there is no issue. You can host multiple DAGs and according to the infrastructure environment, but one server can be a member of one DAG. If you have one DAG created, and if the one member server is a part of that DAG, then it cannot be a part of another DAG created. You can host multiple DAGs, but it cannot made a member, for example, one server of one DAG and not other DAG. And we must create DAG first, then add members. We cannot, we have to create the DAG, then only we can particularly create these and add these memberships in the DAG. Now in DAG, one core component works, and that core component known as Active Manager. Basically, that Active Manager is the internal component of Exchange Server 2010, which manage switchovers and failovers. So whenever your mailbox gets stuck, gets suspended, and in that case, when it requires that secondary mailbox which you have created, it needs to be a part, it needs to take the position of as primary, then a switchover will be made. Also, if for example a failover happens, in this case, if for example the first mailbox, for example the primary mailbox, it gets suspended, then it identifies the failovers and it can switch very easily that yes, the secondary mailbox has been switched up. Active Manager runs in every member server of DAG. So it is a core component which works for DAG, and it's a part of Exchange Server 2010. It's an internal component of Exchange Server 2010. Now Active Manager, let's learn about more, and it detects failure for local resources and whenever required, start or initiate failover. Pass information to client access server that currently which server in DAG hosting active copy of a specific mailbox database. So it requires to provide the information to client access server that this is the this particular DAG is hosting active copy of this specific mailbox server. As mentioned, that any Exchange Server 2010 can have multiple DAGs. So which DAG consists of which mailbox server, and which mailbox server is basically suspended, then in that case a switchover is required. So it needs to pass out the information that yes, we have two DAG, we have multiple mailboxes, so two mailbox, for example, a part of a first DAG, and another two mailbox is a part of a second DAG. Exchange administrator need to deal with Active Manager. Their work only to create and manage DAG. So Exchange administrator need not to worry about once you create a DAG. For example, your mailbox has been suspended, you just need to manage DAG, that which DAG is a part of which mailbox and which member mailbox is working in the DAG. And in that case, Exchange administrator need not to worry about, because the Active Manager, which is a core component, will take care of entire situation once it requires to manage DAG. Now witness server, let's learn about witness server and witness directory. Witness server to require find out how many server members are there with server hosts active copy. So this is a kind of witness server which is not the part of the DAG but it holds all the information. It's not a member of DAG but act as witness, ensure decorum the maintained within cluster. So it basically work as witness. It's not a part of a DAG but only hold the records of the DAG. Hub Transport Server does not install mailbox roles. So need not to install the mailbox server role, because if you are not requires, if you, for example, you install mailbox server role, then it would be a part of the DAG. Because this particular hub transport server has no mailbox, that's why it's not a part of a DAG. In this server, we create a directory which consists info of all DAG members, whatever DAG you have created, and out of it, how many members are there. It creates a record, it creates a directory. That directory is called as witness directory. Since mailbox server not installed to witness server, that's why it can't be a member of DAG. So mailbox server is not installed, and it should not be installed in witness server. That's why it cannot be a part, logically cannot be a part of a DAG. Now witness server, let's learn more about it. If by default witness server is not created, then it will appoint witness server to the server which is not mailbox, or the mailbox role is not installed, and automatically creates one directory and creates the share. So for example, if you want to create a witness server, and might be for some reason you not created a witness server by default, although we have to create, but for example you're not created and Exchange is installed there, mailbox is not installed in that for example hub transport server, then it will become a part of the witness server. Automatically it will get appointed as a witness server, which is not a mailbox. Automatically it will also create one directory, which we all know is witness directory, and share. The last point is the DAG can only be removed if there is no member on DAG. So as simple as that if, for example, you wants to add DAG, you wants to membership with the DAG, you have to create DAG. But for example, you wants to remove DAG, then you have to remove the membership first and then remove the entire DAG process. You can't just remove DAG without removing the membership, otherwise it will give you a trouble for the same. So this is how we created about we understand about DAG, and we're going to create the DAGs in according to the Exchange Server 2010, which is requires to officially, for example, you want to protect ourselves with the failover clusters, and for example, and any backup related issues, for example, you want to go through it, and obviously in the official mailboxes in big infrastructure environment, we're surely gonna save the mailbox, which is very important in your infrastructure environment. So DAG is one of the part of it. So hope you learned something about the discussion of a DAG and promotion of DAG. Thanks for watching.